I gave people all the stuff they really needed. Social Security checks, utility bills, TV guide.
I want a TV guidance counselor. TV guidance counselor. Staying up to watch all night, and everything's gonna be alright with my TV guidance counselor.
Hello everybody, welcome to TV Guidance Counselor. I am Ken Reed, your TV Guidance Counselor, and we are on week 3 of January 2026. Weeks keep getting worse. 2026, news-wise, worse than 2025, but you know that. But we're still here, and we're still having excellent conversations with interesting people. I have 2 guests this week, the hosts of the Marceau Mission podcast and YouTube channel, Len Webb and Vincent Williams. They have an excellent podcast and YouTube channel where they are reviewing every black film ever made. We talk about the Jeffersons here, not a black film. Although I wonder if they ever tried to make a Jeffersons film. That has to have been in development. Anyway, these guys are great, super knowledgeable, funny, awesome dudes. Listen to their show if you don't already. I was turned on to these guys by a listener, so thank you, who said, this is a great show, you like it, you should have them on the show. Reached out and made it happen. If you have guests that you would like me to try to get on the show, or podcasts or anything like that you think I would like, sometimes that's the same thing, you can email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com or ken@icanread.com. Or find me on the social media, or if you have as little as $1 a month, you can go over to the Patreon and you can message me there. $5 or more a month, you get a PDF of each week's TV guide, assuming we use a TV guide that week, but you always have access to the full archives anyway, and if there's an issue not in there, let me know, and if I can find the time, I will scan it for you specifically. This week's issue is in there, this issue with Jeffersons on the cover, so if you're a $5 and up patron, you can go to patreon.com/TV Guidance Counselor, and you can follow along, play along with the show. Also, we got a bunch of new patrons this week. Thank you guys. I don't know where you heard of us, or if you've been listening a long time and decided to put your money where your ears are, is that a phrase? But I thank you so much. I really do appreciate it, and it helps so much, especially last year. It was incredibly helpful. Listen to the year in review if you need to know why, but that's where we're at. Also, one apology, I suppose. Last week I was talking about Duckman. Excellent show with Andrew Price, and I emphatically stated no one has a Duckman tattoo, and you, the listeners, informed me how very wrong I was. I was inundated with photos of Duckman tattoos, and they all look really cool, so I'm wrong. But sometimes it's good to be wrong. Anyway, I think you will enjoy this episode very much. I make no statements about tattoos this week, so if you're getting ready to send me an email about that, but I have a lot of fun. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy this week's episode of TV Guidance Counselor with my guests, the hosts of the Marceau Mission, Len Webb and Vincent Williams.
TV is my friend, and it has been always there for me in time of need.
How are you guys? Len and Vincent, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
What's up, Ken?
Doing well. You guys are live via satellite from Philly.
Yes.
I haven't been there in a long time, but I always loved Philly. I think we can join together against New York. I think that's the...
Absolutely. Absolutely.
There's a certain sense of righteous anger that Boston and Philly share.
Right.
Against the other places. I have been listening to your show, watching the show. Listeners were like, you got to check these guys out. This is such a cool, this will fit very nicely with what you do. So I loved the show, and I was like, you guys got to come on. And you picked an issue together. This issue is July 30th to August 5th, 1983. I presume because of Jeffersons?
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you know what? It's because of the Jeffersons, but it's also because the title, first of all, you got to, we're reviewing TV Guide, right? Yes. It's essentially just, what's coming on TV this week. But it's not just an article about the Jeffersons, about how great the Jeffersons is. No, it's an article about the whitewashing of the Jeffersons.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating. Yeah. It's really well written.
Absolutely.
Like I bring this up on the show all the time. People forget or don't even know that TV Guide had like actual good media criticism articles because they were the largest print run magazine in the world, and they were like, we write whatever we want. We're TV Guide. Go fuck yourself. Like,
Right, exactly.
They weren't,
exactly.
The networks weren't going to be like, we're not participating anymore.
But it also, what it was is not only were they TV Guide, but because TV was in their name and TV was such a bigger thing at the time, they wanted to be your essential media source for everything about TV on the screen and behind the screen. And you can tell not only in that article, but in all of the articles and all of how diverse the articles was. This is like, it's the real deal. Back in '83, you were buying magazines because of the articles, because of the journalism.
I was totally reading it for the articles. Definitely not the pictorials in this particular case. But TV Guide, based out of Philly. That's the famously the sort of story about how they became based out of Philly is very, very strange. It's very similar to like the wrestling story and the breweries story, where you had all these unrelated independent versions that slowly got bought up by one company and put them all under one umbrella. And the Philly TV Guide is the one that won out. They're like, we are now TV Guide Prime. Which, growing up, although, when you grew up in Baltimore, right? Len grew up?
Yes, I did.
You grew up in Baltimore. And Len, you grew up in Philly. Were you aware that TV Guide was based out of there?
I was not. It just showed up.
Yeah.
The gods just delivered it.
Yeah, I did not know at all. And in fact, TV Guide, when I was growing up, it was subscription, like you had to have a subscription to the TV Guide. So, and my mom, we had a subscription to the newspaper that had a TV Guide. What we need a TV Guide for. So I didn't see the TV Guide unless I went over my cousin Celestine's house, where she had all of the TV Guides like laid out there, and I would just sit and read TV Guides while she was babysitting me because I couldn't bring my comic books. So I would just sit and read the TV Guides. TV Guides.
Yeah, my dad was actually a TV Guide person, so it showed up at the house. Like Lynn said, it came in the mail. So I didn't know wherever they published these things.
The TV Guide elves just magically deliver this every year.
100% every week.
And as a movie fan, and I, this is my old man talk, and I think we're all roughly of similar age. As a movie fan, like, we didn't have IMDb, you didn't have Google. Like, TV Guide was kind of the only place you had access to the movie section, which was invaluable. It would tell you runtimes and years and directors. Like, you just couldn't find that.
Absolutely. That's 100% correct.
Yep.
Did you have any holy grail movies that you like always looked in the TV Guide hoping it would air and like kind of look for it?
Oh, Destroy All Monsters. Destroy All Monsters. Like, I was a big Godzilla fan. So Destroy All Monsters. I think it was which one is it? It's like the monster from Planet X, whichever one of the later Godzilla movies that had the aliens and they're they're all Japanese actors and they had the weird Devo glasses.
Yep. Yeah.
Those were my two. I looked for those all the time.
The idea of that to people younger than us would be like, every week I'd get a magazine and I'd hope this movie was in it.
Right.
That's real talk. That's real talk. Mine actually was the 1966 Batman TV movie. The movie. And the reason for that was because one Friday when I could stay up late, stayed up late for the after hour movie or whatever, the midnight movie on ABC. And I said, well, let me see what's coming on. And all of a sudden, this Batman movie came on, and I knew of the TV series, but I didn't know of the movie. So I'm like, wait, this don't look like the TV series. That's Batman. Oh my God, it's Batman. And that's how I discovered the movie. So then after that, because it wasn't VCRs in the time.
Nope.
VHS. So after that, every Friday I was like, is Batman playing? Is Batman playing? Is Batman playing?
Some days you can't get rid of a bomb.
Not exactly.
But it would be a weird thing too, where like you probably went to school Monday and you're like, guys, hear me out. There's a Batman movie. And they're like, you're crazy. We've never heard of it. You can't prove it. You're lying.
Exactly.
Especially when you try to tell them that everybody in there is from the show except Catwoman. They're like, get out of here. I'm like, no, seriously, it's a different Catwoman.
Why would that be? That makes no sense at all.
Wait, it's the black Catwoman? No, it's an entirely different one.
Yeah.
Just in the movie.
That's it. She's in the one thing, and they don't explain it. This is a perfect example of sort of what TV Guide was. And the Jeffersons was pretty long in the tooth by this time. I think Jefferson started in like 75, I want to say.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So we're 8 years in. There's a bunch of 70s shows that people forget went well into the 80s, like Alice.
Yeah.
Jeffersons. That people are like, that was still on in 1983? It's like, yeah.
Wasn't All in the Family still on in 83?
Archie Bunker's Place was.
Or was it Archie Bunker's Place?
Archie's Place.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which has my favorite All in the Family moment that I always misremembered as an All in the Family moment when Edith dies and he comes home and finds her slipper and then just breaks down crying. And just like blackout end of episode, brutal, sad episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's so good. But The Jeffersons, at its core, was a really unusual show. I don't know if people give it enough credit for. I think people are used to sitcoms and comedies with a lead character who's kind of a dick. Now. But that was not the case then. And George was like an unapologetic, like cocky jerk in the best way possible. And that was not an archetype we saw on TV at that time, let alone from a black guy.
And, as the article mentions, and I have to shout out Mary Helen Washington, she's early in her act. She's an old prof of mine.
Oh, nice.
And, really? She was fairly young in 83. But as she points out, I think you have that wonderful frisson between these Norman Lear shows that were very political, very topical. But as you said, they're long in the tooth.
Yeah.
They're getting older. And whether we're talking about the All in the Family, which kind of transformed into Archie's Place, or the Jeffersons, they really do become defanged.
Yeah.
As they move along. And that 100%, that's actually why I have this sort of morbid fascination with the Jeffersons at this period. Lynn and I talk about it a lot. Like this weird moment. So this is like July of 83.
Yep.
The Cosby Show comes on fall the next year.
Yeah.
So it's this weird zone between the Norman Lear black shows and the post-Cosby Show black show that I'm endlessly fascinated by.
In the Reagan
and the Jeffersons is very much it.
The Reagan era black shows is a really interesting dynamic as well, because like I'll look at like what's happening and what's happening now.
Right.
And like the Reagan-ness of the massive difference between those two versions of those shows is nuts. And for your point, the Jeffersons is a prime example. We see this show shift and be completely out of phase with culture. This show that was ahead of everything is behind now and feels sort of quaint.
And the cast is so old.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Even if they're not chronologically old, they read really old. Like you watch these like 7th and 8th season episodes of the Jeffersons, and it's just like 5 middle-aged people wandering around.
They're just tired.
There's not really a plot. They're just sort of wandering around.
Yeah, just cracking wise at each other.
The novelty's gone.
Yeah.
The novelty is gone, and because they are older or code so much older than they probably actually are, someone like George Jefferson at that time, where he starts off as this irascible, jerk, like you said, but who is defiant in his blackness.
Yep.
By the time here, he's just the old uncle that has the cleaners on the corner.
He feels like a Republican.
Yeah, look. I actually disagree with the article where Professor Washington says, Florence is the only one with this authenticity and this, that, and the other. By the 7th, 8th season, there's no way that someone comes in here cold and thinks that she works for these people.
Why is she still there?
She's just sort of sitting around.
Yeah.
They're all sharing cups of endless cups of coffee. Just endless cups of coffee.
Because what is it, 85, we get 227, where Marla Gibbs was like, because she tried to leave the show a couple times. And
right,
do the
had a couple of backdoor pilots. Yeah.
And she learned she's so impressively vicious behind the scenes with what she did with 227. And I don't know how much you know about her, but she still had a day job the whole time she was on the Jeffersons. She worked at a travel agency. She's on the Jeffersons. She's like, you got to have something to fall back on.
I don't know how long this thing's going to go.
Yeah, it might not go well, season 7.
Right.
So she realized that when she did the Flow spinoff, she was very sharp about contracts, which a lot of people were not. And she saw in there that there was a clause that if the Flow show didn't go, she wasn't allowed to come back to the Jeffersons. And she negotiated that like, oh no, we're not doing that. But when 227 came out and Jack Kay became the breakout character, because obviously, Jack Kay's amazing.
Right.
Marla Gibbs made sure that clause was in her contract that if the pilot didn't go, she couldn't come back to 227.
Right.
And she didn't come back to 227.
Yeah.
Which is like, ooh, that's cruel.
Yeah. Look. It's business show. It's not show business.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that she's like, her character has no reason to be there anymore, but she's like, I'm not going anywhere. As long as this show's on, I'm on it. So deal with it. Which is great.
That's right. I ain't mad at her.
It's such a weird thing because the novelty of this show, for better or worse, wore out around 1981 or 82. Like the concept of like this kind of brash black guy is rich.
Yeah.
It's like,
and I think you're being generous by giving it 81.
Yeah.
What year does
Mother
Jefferson die?
Oh, Jefferson died.
Like the second or third season.
Yeah, it was early. Was
it that early?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It was surprisingly early.
Right, because she dies. Because Zara
Cooley.
Yeah, Zara Cooley dies. And I think that lets the air out of the whole thing damn near immediately.
Yeah.
You know what? That's a good point because by then, as we get into the story of the Jeffersons, Lionel 1 and 2 are pretty much written out for the show.
Right.
And without Lionel there, now you don't really have any generational divide between them.
No.
That is why a show like All in the Family, even as Archie's character, who never became totally defanged, but he definitely became a little bit more of like just the grumpy old uncle.
Right.
But
he
always still right. That's just Uncle Archie,
Right.
Out there, but he always had Mike, rest in peace, Rob Reiner, there to kind of balance it off. There was that, different generations shown throughout the show. The Jeffersons, once Lionel is no longer there, Zara Cooley is no longer there for anybody older than them. Like you said, it just becomes these middle-aged people who also, to the detriment of the show, are just roaming around in this apartment.
Yeah.
Like they barely, I think maybe twice they went to one of the stores. They very rarely went to any other apartment, any other place in New York,
Yeah.
So it just became boring.
There's no struggle. There's no conflict.
Yeah, and Sherman Helmsley, and you understand why. He said that he was very uncomfortable with all the honky talk.
Sure.
He was.
So he very much was, pushed back against that. He said we can make jokes about his weight, but I don't want to do the racial stuff. Which, again, you understand the spirit of it. But like you said, Mother Jefferson is gone. Lionel's gone. We're not going to make these racial humor. Like, there's no Florence, the class stuff is gone, certainly by the end of the first or second season.
Yeah.
There's no there.
Plus, also behind the scenes, the writers are getting long in the tooth as well, and they are no longer like All in the Family comes out in '68. Jeffersons, the show debuted in 75, but they were a big part of All in the Family. A lot of people don't remember that that's where they got their start in. You know, a lot of their storyline was built off of that energy and the writers of All in the Family. All of those producers are long in the tooth at that time, and they're no longer in touch with the zeitgeist.
Or they're very young, like, you know, brand new writers who don't care about any of that stuff or even know about it, you know, the connection.
Right.
So they're just writing a funny sitcom, you know, and it becomes very sort of cliche. And, you know, it's similar, and we'll get into the listings in a moment, but it's similar to the way Good Times went once John Amos left, where it's the JJ show, and it's a silly, goofy show now. Like the really heavy, interesting conflict, again, generational, with Amos and his son, is gone. So now it's just like, what crazy scheme does JJ have this week? And it's like, this is not the show.
Which, again, I cannot say enough. I am utterly fascinated by the last couple of seasons of the show. Like, Ginny comes back and she has like the cool 1980 haircut. Yep. Everybody is wandering around like they're in their late 60s. There is, and I cannot stress this enough, no plot.
No.
There are no plots.
No.
And they just sort of roam around for 22 minutes.
Sort of insulting each other, but like very softball insulting.
Very,
it's like,
right.
Yeah. It still did fairly well in the ratings somehow, which I think says more about the competition at the time than about the Jeffersons.
Yes.
But, you know, and it's on here on Saturday night, you know, you got Different Strokes on, which, you know, is also getting a little bit long in the tooth at this point.
Absolutely.
And that was like the Young Upstart show. And I recall this episode. It's a Christmas episode because it's in July. This is back when we had Christmas in July before people did Summerween. And it's the one where Garrett Morris plays Santa Claus. And it's like, come on, Garrett Morris is your, you know, as much as I like Garrett Morris, it's 1983. It's not 1974 or 75 where you get Garrett Morris as your big name star on the show. You know, you're not getting your Mr. T's and stuff at this point either. So I think they just didn't know what to do. And it's true of the other shows like the soaps that were going on, like Dallas was going on, but you still had like Love Boat going in up to 85 or 86.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Such a weird.
Well, I mean, but the Love Boat could live off of, as long as they had, you know, dying film stars of the 50s and 60s, they were going to keep it going.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the listings, but I would watch the Love Boat right now.
Oh, I do watch it now. It's good value for money. You get like 4 shows on an hour, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the tonal shifts are insane. Like there's always like a very dramatic segment where it's like, this blind man can now see and he loves a blind person, or like a Vietnam vet story. And then it'll be like some crazy goofy story that's like completely not even in reality, where there's like a comedy talking dog or something. And it's like, this is all in the same episode. My favorite one, there was one, if you don't remember this, a guy got stuck in the bathroom in a cabin because his cabin was full of killer Doberman pinchers. It's like, what is this?
You can't beat that.
No.
It's similar. We talk about Fantasy Island the same way, where these wildly divergent tones in the same episode. But yeah.
Well, the Fantasy Island wanted to be the Twilight Zone, Night Gallery, and
Love American,
and Love American style, all in one,
all in the same episode.
Yep. Well, I've learned since doing the show and talking to people who worked on all of those shows, they would not plan a show to have certain segments in it. They would kind of shoot them all separately and then cut them all up later. And then at the end of the season, they'd film the sort of everyone getting on the boat, everyone getting off the boat things. But so they had not planned to do them in that way or like thematically, which of course, like when you watch them, you're like, yeah, they did not plan this. Vincent Price is an actual magician. And then there's this guy cheating on his wife. And yeah, Love Boat taught us all that nothing saves a marriage like infidelity.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
The classic.
Write that down.
Yes.
Write that down.
Stitch
kids.
that on a pillow. Oh man, there's also the one about the kid who keeps lying, saying he's seeing someone trying to commit suicide on the boat, and it's like a boy who cried wolf, and then some lady does, and they don't believe him, and I'm like, in the same episode, Gopher's trying to get laid. Like, what's happening?
Well, Gopher was always trying to get laid.
Well, that's true.
He had bad luck with the women.
He certainly did. And I forget how friggin' horny that show was. Captain Stubing is wildly inappropriate in every episode.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Whoa. I will not hear this Gavin McLeod slang. I don't think he was inappropriate. I mean, he was an older man, and he was the captain, but he actually struck me a little bit.
Now you're going to discuss the interiority of Captain Stubing.
Well, yes, because I don't remember the show as to the minute detail of you two, but I remember him being more akin to a Captain Picard, who actually had a little bit of he had gravitas, but he was about the ship first. Like no, I'm sorry, I've got to stay on the ship. I've got to see people on the luau deck.
I'd say it looks like Picard, acts like Kirk. That's what I would say. Because they'd be like,
whoa.
There's a total side note. There's an amazing, I think it's a 71 or 72 issue of TV Guide, and it's got this article about Gavin McLeod and what he collects, and he collected Cupid dolls. And there's this photo of him with no shirt on. I don't know why. Covered in Cupid dolls, and he's like, "This is my collection." I'm like, "This is just bizarre. It's just weird." So let's dive in. Let's do.
I take back my defense of Gavin.
The Cupid dolls was a bit of over the edge.
I retract my defense of Gavin McLeod.
But again, very funny. Like sort of royalty on that show from Mary Tyler Moore, and then he get a very different character. What a weird show. Let's dive in there. Saturday night. And did you guys pick separately, or is this?
Yes, we did.
Cool. So this will be a revelation to all of us about what we picked. So let's dive in. What did you do at 8:00 on Saturday? We'll start with Len.
Oh no, start with Vince. All right, because I gotta hear Vince.
Okay.
It really depends. Probably Walt Disney.
Okay.
What?
But I was a big T.J. Hooker fan.
T.J. Hooker was pretty good. We all loved Heather Locklear.
I was a big T.J. Hooker fan. And then regardless, we've just been talking about it. I was locked in. Love Boat, Fantasy Island. Like the 1-2 punch of Love Boat and Fantasy Island. And, as you said, you got everything. You got slapstick. You got romance. You'd fool around on Fantasy Island. The devil would be involved. Someone has sold their soul.
Yep.
Mm.
So that by 10:00, I am fed.
And as kids who like horror and comics and genre stuff, weirdly, something like Fantasy Island was like one of our only things. Like they gave us so little.
Yeah, on a regular. Yeah.
Especially
on a regular, yeah.
You're like, oh, it's sort of a horror movie. It's close.
That's very true.
So not a bad
That is very good. Very true.
Walt Disney that night is a thing called The Sky Trap, which is a 2-part story with Mark McClure as a teenage sailplane pilot tricked into helping heroin smugglers.
Oh, I'm all in.
But whoa. That does not even sound like it should be on Walt Disney.
I know. Heroin and Disney usually don't mix, but you got to remember, 83, Disney was literally almost out of business. They almost shut down the animation studio. That's true. And the Black Cauldron, I don't think had come out yet, which I love. But they were like, oh, whatever, anything. What can we do?
That's a good point. I see your Walt Disney and following that up with Love Boat and Fantasy Island, and I give you the premium movie straight from the theaters onto your TV screens of the Poseidon Adventure, because there are a few dumb, trashy movies that I can watch on a loop like the Poseidon Adventure. I love the Poseidon Adventure. I'm a big fan of Shelley Winters. Shelley Winters is no joke. She is a world-class swimmer. I don't care what anybody says. And she proves it in the Poseidon Adventure. And if you only knew Gene Hackman at that moment, when the only way I knew Gene Hackman was getting his eye shot out in Bonnie and Clyde, then to see him on the Poseidon Adventure, who to me, he looks like he's a priest, but he might as well have a cape because he just is Superman in that joint. I love the Poseidon Adventure.
1983, I was probably still scared. The Poseidon Adventure actually scared me.
I don't like
really
water.
Until I was a teenager.
Yeah, like in the sea, that terrifies me. Deep water, no.
Right. Like the Love Boat was like, the Poseidon Adventure was like a really dark episode of the Love Boat.
That's true.
That is true. Even
that
right
is
down
true.
to the cast.
That is true.
Yeah.
There's Borgnine.
Like I love.
I just want to say.
Yeah, you know I love the Poseidon Adventure now, but I was probably 14, 15 before I did the Poseidon Adventure. So there's no way I watched it.
That's fair.
You're right. It is the mirror universe of the Love Boat.
It's like your dad caught you smoking and made you smoke a whole pack of Love Boat.
Exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
you think you like this? I do want to mention David Caruso's in that episode of T.J. Hooker, which is one of his earliest roles. I'm definitely watching the movie On the Beach, which I'm a big
really?
like Cold War. Well, I was until the last couple of years, when now it just bums me out and feels too real. But Stanley Kramer's On the Beach is one of the more interesting nuclear apocalypse movies with Ava Gardner and Gregory Peck.
It is.
And another 2.5 hour movie with commercials like Poseidon Adventure. And, you know, it's summer. It's July 30th, you know, a little beach movie.
Sure.
But I have a question for y'all, though. Yes. I have a question real quick on Saturdays, because there is a show that was a long-running show on Saturday. Long-running show. I've maybe saw 4 episodes of it. It has an actor who I absolutely, positively adore, but I just could not get into the show. And that is Quincy with Jack Klugman. For some reason, I just didn't buy Oscar from The Odd Couple as a forensic scientist. It just never got me. Did y'all get into Quincy?
I mean, I'm an old punk rock kid, so like the Quincy Punks episode was like a seminal thing because it's just so ridiculous, and I love that over and over. But it was very formulaic. Like every episode, they're like, "Oh, this guy accidentally died. It's murder," and then it's like, "Okay, do."
You know how I feel about the procedurals. You know how I feel about those, you know, guest starring, blah. So, yeah, I was all over Quincy because it was so formulaic.
It wasn't the best of these shows, but it does have that form. And it's funny, I've talked about this a lot, where we had these murder mystery formula shows, and they're so different from the ones in the 90s. And the difference to me is autopsies. Because he's a forensic pathologist, but he's never cutting people open. He's got a microscope, and he's like, "There's fibers." But meanwhile, by 95, we got the homicides and the Law and Orders, and they're like full-on gore films. So radically different.
It's like the Michael Crichton effect.
Yes,
basically. Like he comes in, and now suddenly everything has to be real.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
whereas before, Jack Klugman is talking about it's mad.
Forensic pathologist. We all know Looker. Very, very realistic film.
Right.
People forget like weird, sleazy Michael Crichton, which I love. He got, speaking of whitewashing, after Jurassic Park, people just forgot about like the 5 really creepy, weird movies he made in the early 80s. Coma.
He wrote the bad out.
Yeah. He was like, it's working through some stuff. Quincy I'd watch if it was on, like, and the only other thing on was like Hee Haw, like on a Sunday afternoon. I'll watch Quincy.
Right.
Let's see. Oh, it's Silver Spoons. It was still on Saturday night. But I only mentioned this.
Oh, that's Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder. What a horrible person. This is one of the most ridiculous Christmas episodes ever. So we're at Christmas in July. This episode, I've talked about on stage because I cannot believe it. It's played completely straight. Joey Lawrence is a guest star as a kid who sneaks into the Struttons' house to steal their presents because Joey Lawrence and his family are forced to live in a cave on the Struttons' property because they're homeless. And they play it completely straight. And these rich people, at the end of the episode, they sneak into the cave and they decorate it for Christmas for them. That's what they do. They decorate their cave for Christmas, these rich people. And I'm like, this is Reagan's 1983, everybody. We made your cave nice. We have a ton of money. We could give you a job, but forget it.
Right. Or soup.
Soup would be
give
good.
You soup.
Yeah.
No soup for you.
Here's some Christmas lights in a tree. In the cave, we're going to let you live in rent-free on our property.
Right.
In a cave. And that's this episode. So, Sunday, what'd you do?
I'm sorry. Because I don't remember the episode, but I'm just thinking about the people coming home to their cave with all this Christmas trimmings and lights, but there's no electricity. So how are you going to turn?
They mention it. You got to see at least that reveal. They come in and they have they're all disheveled and they have food they foraged and they come in and they're like, oh, and Rick's like, I ran an extension cord from the house. And it's like, gee, thanks. Don't invite them in. Don't invite them into a huge remote control door house. Go over there. You guys stay in the cave.
I used to watch Silver Spoon. I stopped watching Silver Spoon when Justin Bateman got a spinoff for his show. I forget the name of his show.
It's Your Move.
It's Your Move, right? And he got the spinoff, and the spinoff didn't go, but he didn't come back to the show. And I was like, well, I don't need to watch Silver Spoon anymore because he was the only thing worth watching.
Yeah.
On that
Ricky
show.
Schroeder pressured him off, didn't he?
He was competition.
Yeah.
He was too.
Yeah, I always heard that Ricky had because I don't think it was a spinoff.
It was a similar character.
Bateman's own
it was its own show, not the same exact character, but a similar.
Yeah, it wasn't the same character. I love that show.
It's fun.
Yeah, I did too.
The Dregs of Humanity episode is one of the greatest episodes of television ever. If you recall that one, he makes up a fake band to book at his high school because he wants to steal the money, and it doesn't go right, so he has to have them play. So he gets a bunch of skeletons and puppeteers them like they're a real band. It's great. Speaking of shows,
oh my God,
unlikable leads, that was why that show didn't really catch on. They were like, this kid seems like a jerk.
Yeah,
it's like,
I know.
That's the point.
I know. Yes, the Buffalo Bill effect.
Yes, exactly. I watched the Christmas episode of that this year, and it was a tough watch. And I loved Dabney Coleman, but I was like, oh yes, he is very unlikable in this episode.
Yeah. I don't know if I can spend a season with Scrooge.
Yeah,
oh my God.
I mean, give me Drexel's class. It's a little softer by that point, but man. So Sunday, what are we doing?
You start off this time, Lynn.
All right, Sunday. Well, Sunday is easy for me because I have a soft spot. I've forever had a soft spot for two of the shows on Sunday. That is Alice, because I love myself some Linda Lavin. I think she was a very underrated actress with impeccable comedic timing. And I know people they love Flo on that show, Polly Holiday, and Polly Holiday was great. But that ensemble on Alice was a whole lot of fun. And then One Day at a Time, I'm a sucker for a show that features women in strong roles, them leading, being funny, but acting to the height of their intelligence. So One Day at a Time, I always appreciated that show. But hey, I'm a guy. It's Valerie Bertinelli.
Yeah. Mrs. Eddie Van Halen.
You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I am here all day. Thank you very much. And then I would honestly, to be fair, suffer through the Jeffersons because I get through it. It's kind of like, hey, I'll watch it so I could get to Newhart.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge fan of comedy, so I have an appreciation for Bob Newhart. I have his albums. I love the Bob Newhart show and Newhart. I will rewatch both of those shows like ad nauseum. Loved it. So that would be my Sunday.
That's a solid night. And Newhart, I love. The Bob Newhart show, I'm like, is solid. But 80s Newhart is one of the funniest shows. It holds up. It's so funny. Yeah, I'd watch that anytime, any play. I love it.
I have to say, I was probably watching Matt Houston.
Really? You're the guy.
I was probably watching Matt Houston. And
you like $3 Tom Selleck?
You know what? I just liked it. It was almost like a quarter pounder. Like, it's not a great burger, but it does its job.
True.
Like Matt Houston, there was nothing that's as you mentioned, that was the big Matt Houston thing. It was the mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was nothing that stuck out about that show, but it was solid. It was you got an hour of action, and then, as you said, I flowed right into the Jeffersons, but very intentionally, as we've talked about. Like, at this point, I was in my morbid fascination period.
It's anthropology
with the Jeffersons.
at this point.
It was like, I can't even believe this is on.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like it was almost like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. Like they're trapped.
And then, much like you, Newhart, and retroactively, it would make my Jeffersons viewing that much more bizarre. Because I think, Newhart was, it was sort of genteel.
Mm.
It was very 80s, but it was super sharp.
Oh, yes.
Which I was like, why can't they do this with the Jeffersons?
Comedic actors from the same era, too. Like, Bob Newhart's not a young guy.
Right. No, not at all. Not at all. But the difference is that the Bob Newhart show, like the best great comedies, had a large cast which allowed them to do shows of different styles, different genres.
Sure.
And also that show, almost all of the characters grew in some sense. Mm-hmm. They changed. They evolved over the course of the series, which allowed the series to become, newer and stay fresh and stay sharp. With the Jeffersons, you just had, like you said, these 5 old people just walking around in a park.
There's nowhere to go physically.
Yeah, there's nowhere to go.
And character-wise.
Right.
Yeah. It's Matt Houston that night, I will mention, just because Side Adventure, Ernest Borgnine is in this episode of Matt Houston. Larry Harmon, Chuck McCann, and Andrew Robinson. Alice, I do...
Wait a minute. Ernest Borgnine and Larry Harmon are both guesting on Matt Houston?
Show, yeah. That's an overload.
What is this? This a Hogan's Heroes, McHale's Navy, this crossover?
And it's not even surprising. Because it's Matt Houston.
This episode.
Sure, why not?
Listen to this plot. Houston is in another...
On this episode of Matt Houston.
Yeah, Houston's in another fine mess. I love that they feel the need to put that in the beginning, like that adds anything. A pair of Laurel and Hardy lookalikes are out to get CJ.
Come on, Lynn.
Wait a minute. Look, I could sit through Larry Harmon pretending to be Hitler on Hogan's Heroes, but I will not have him as Stan Laurel on Matt Houston.
Some respect. Yeah, I think that's fair. Alice, I do want to mention that it was very weird, and I always need to point out it's a comedic sitcom based on Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, which is so weird.
I know. Not funny.
So weird. And I the only other thing I could think of where they tried that was when they did the TV version of Baghdad Cafe with Whoopi Goldberg. Mm-hmm. And it was a massive failure. Like, it was like, guys, Alice worked. We don't know why. Don't even ever try this again. It's not going to work.
Fail.
Very strange. Yeah, man. Where are we? Monday, what'd you do?
I'm starting with Square Pegs.
Excellent show.
I was a huge Square Pegs fan. I was a huge, I flipped to NBC, and I'm watching Family Ties.
First season.
Goes without saying. I actually remember Tucker's Witch. I liked Tucker's Witch.
It's not bad.
I didn't remember it was an hour.
I don't remember Tucker's Witch.
It's what's her name from Child's Play? The mom. I can't remember the actress's name. It's very light. It's sort of like if Bewitched was Simon and Simon or Heart to Heart.
Right, like they're detectives, and they solve, like you said, like very kind of fairly low stakes crimes. And also, she's a witch.
Yeah, so she can Deus Ex Machina them out of whatever pickle they're in by the end every single week.
But once again, it's just this weird moment in television where you have these shows that last like one season, and you can tell somebody's sort of coked up or up against a deadline, and they just kind of come up with this weird shit.
Oh, it's Catherine Hicks. That's
Catherine
who.
Hicks,
That's who is talking.
Yeah.
Tim Matheson is her.
Yeah, Amanda matches wits with a celebrity psychic eager to collaborate on her investigation of a multi-million-dollar hotel robbery. Co-starring Tim Matheson.
It's very heart to heart. It's very heart to heart, and it's.
And also she's a witch.
But she's also a witch. Yeah, it's like they're like, okay, so that's
well, so was Stephanie Powers to hear some people tell
that's
it.
true. They're like, it's a husband and wife detective team. Yes. Well, what else? What do you mean? What else? That's it. She's a witch. I don't know. Perfect. Greenlit.
Also, she's a witch.
Well, it's like the famous story.
Okay, 13 episodes.
Yeah, well, greenlit you. Of Ken Johnson when he was pitching V. He pitched that as a miniseries about a straight fascist takeover of America, like Nazis, and they were like, nah. And then he literally in the room was like, they're also aliens, and they were like, done. You got yourself a show.
And also they're aliens.
Yeah, they're witches.
We need more. Yes.
It's amazing that these things go on. I did notice this week they're airing a bunch of unsold pilots. So they had the other nights too.
Yes. Well, it's the summer.
Yeah, and they used to burn those off. They were like, let's make back some of our money. And some of these sound awful. like I always morbidly watched the unsold pilots in the summer, hoping I wouldn't like the show because it was just like you knew. You're like, I hope this isn't good because they're telling me up front it's not happening. And I'm in no danger of that with the stuff they were airing this week. Where's the one I just saw? Sounded really bad. Where is it? Yeah, Bannigan and Mapies. After the sudden death of his wife, an ad man, played by Don Murray, copes with raising his 3 stepchildren. And it says, not on CBS's announced schedule for the fall. It's just like, why would you watch that?
So he married a woman with kids, and then the woman dies?
Yes, but he's an ad exec.
But
no one's a witch.
He's Don Draper.
Yes.
Right. He's always going to have deadlines.
It's Don Draper with half the Brady Bunch. That's what we have here.
Right.
Why? Yeah. Why did they?
No, it's Don Draper. It's Don Draper with her 3 sons.
That is true. Yes.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
You're not my dad. I'm the only dad you have. Your mom's dad.
You can't tell me what to do. Yeah, there's great character growth in that. Square Pegs, this is the Halloween episode, which I believe Devo guest stars in. And Square Pegs is I love Freaks and Geeks. Square Pegs, I'm like, this is like a proto Freaks and Geeks for people. I had Aunt Beats on, may she rest in peace, and just hearing the how hard it was for her to get that show to be even half of what it was is even more impressive. Also, when I had Devo on, they were like, those kids were whacked out of their mind on cocaine, and we were terrified of them. They were like, wow. We hid in our dressing room. We were like, these kids are insane. I was like, that sounds right. And the show got canceled. Ann Beats told me this. Lauren Michaels got the show canceled. I don't know if you've ever heard this.
No.
She goes, she said it was my fault, which I'm like, yeah, it 100% isn't. She goes, but I was in New York and I was at a party and we were getting a cover story in Rolling Stone about Square Pegs. And I mentioned it to Lauren. And when I flew back to LA, by the time I landed, the show was canceled. And so Lauren called up the head of NBC and the president of Rolling Stone and went, all she said was, when I was in Rolling Stone, I wasn't on the cover. They were like, okay, fine. And the show got canceled.
Wow.
That was it. He was like,
wow,
nope.
That is a shame.
Nope.
That is a shame. And Square Pegs is a show that people still reference because it was so ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Funny, weird
that
characters. Have you ever seen the Fast Times at Ridgemont High TV series?
Yes.
I love it. I think I like the movie. I actually like the show better.
Oh, interesting.
It's very much like Square Pegs, without a laugh track, shot on film. It's got the dramedy. It's funny. That show, I'm like, they're trying to do Square Pegs again. And Cameron Crowe wrote it. It had Amy Heckerling was directing it. It was such a good show too. That falls in that category. That's a whole other conversation of decent TV shows based off movies. But that's one that never gets what it's due, and it's perfect fit with Square Pegs.
Well, that's the thing. You did it was good, but it didn't hit because the fans of Fast Time at Ridgemont High tuned in wanting Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and this was cut. And while Fast Times was a cut above the teenage movies of the time, the TV show was like, that was prestige TV before prestige TV, and they weren't ready.
No, they weren't ready at all. Yeah, and the irony is that show wouldn't have got made if it wasn't called Fast Times. But if it wasn't called Fast Times, it would still be on. People would give it a thing. I think there. Who do we get both your picks?
I think we're still on Sunday, right?
On Monday.
Yeah. No, we're on Monday. Well, I mean, I'm just like Vincent. I'm on Family Ties, and then after that, unlike Vincent, this is in the summer, so Monday Night Football's not on, so I'm not watching Monday Night Football. So I'm actually probably drawing or doing something because I'm really pretty much turning off the TV. Now, I will say though, I did I remember kind of liking Love, Sydney. I had to read about it, but that's primarily because I'm a fan of Tony Randall.
Yes.
So like watching Tony Randall do something, I would, appreciate it. Now, I'm sure if I rewatched it, I'd be like, okay, well, I see why this didn't last. But I probably remember watching it. It's like, I can get through Tony Randall to get to Family Ties.
You believe him, but not Jack Klugman. So in the divorce, you're going to live with Tony Randall.
Right.
Tony Randall stayed in his lane.
That's true.
That's why. And also, I was a fan of Tony Randall from The Odd Couple, but he would always show up on late night TV where he would be like a professional guest and be outstanding. So that's why, the love continued.
And Love, Sydney was an openly gay character. It was one of the first openly gay
finally true to himself.
But they dropped that from it was a 2-hour pilot movie, and then they dropped. They never said he wasn't gay in the series, but they kind of just stopped mentioning.
But they didn't reference it.
Yeah,
right.
Yes, I do remember that.
But this episode's interesting because Jenny Wright guest stars as a teenage prostitute. And this sounds heavy. It's Sydney brings home a battered teenage prostitute who's desperately in need of help, but too frightened to trust anyone. And Jenny Wright's a very interesting actor. She's in Near Dark. She was in the unofficial sequel to Fast Times, The Wildlife. And then kind of fell off the map and had a lot of issues. But I don't remember her popping up in TV that much. I feel like I need to watch this episode now. I'm very curious.
Yeah, it sounds interesting.
Revenge of the Creature was on that night in 3D, by the way, which never worked on a home TV.
Right. I was going to say, how do you...
This was when you had to go to 7-Eleven to get the glasses. They did a promotion. And I remember watching this in Gorilla at Large and it just being such a disappointment because the 3D was not effective at all.
I have a question for you, Ken.
Yes.
Because and it probably was years before this. When did TV Guide start with the grid? Because the grid wasn't always part of it.
No.
And I remember when I seem to remember when it started, people like there was almost like some people protesting against it.
Some people were like, what an innovation. This is saving me so much time. And then some people were like, this is kids are lazy now. It was around 67 or 68 they started with the grid.
Okay.
And part of it was they started getting so many more channels. There was like a huge boom of UHF stations, so pre-cable. And so it wasn't, it was difficult to go through all the listings for some people. So they were like, we'll do a grid. And then the people who like to read what happens can read that. But the grid, people are good with the grid. And the newspapers had been doing the grid.
Yes. But when did they start with cable in the grid? Because here you got some of the select cable channels.
76 or 77, I believe. Not in all markets.
That must be what I'm remembering.
So like New York, Boston, we had it. Philly probably had it. They had the cable stations because we had like On TV and the Madison Square Garden network. But they never went full on with the satellite stuff. They kind of kept it at a really weird cap on cable where they were like, we're not going to go too far. We're only going to list like HBO and the movie channel. But yeah, that was like 76 or 77, I think, around that time.
Okay.
And here's the weird thing. They still publish TV Guide and it still has a grid and there's no reason for it to exist. There's no reason. Nobody needs.
It's like the Jeffersons.
Exactly. It's the Jeffersons of magazines at this point.
Right.
There's no reason for it to go on. Okay, is that everything? Where are we? Tuesday.
We are on Tuesday. Okay. All right, this is another kind of like dead day for me, like because I'm not really into a lot of this stuff. But I will say that I am one of the few people who wanted Joni Loves Chachi to work. Not because I like Scott Baio. I did not like Scott Baio. I was not necessarily a huge fan of Scott Baio himself. But Erin Moran, I had a soft spot for Erin Moran. I because one, I watched her grow up on television. And I never thought that she got her real moment to shine in Happy Days for reasonable reasons. So I really looked at this as an opportunity for her to maybe blossom. Unfortunately, she had to bring Scott Baio with her and it didn't work. But I remember when they spun this off, like, okay, I really want this to work.
That's fair.
So I watched it. And it didn't. It was not good, but I really wanted it to watch.
Almost none of the Happy Days spin-offs at this time, like Blansky's Beauties, and they were just, it wasn't. I think they got super cocky, like we could print money. We did Mork and Mindy and Laverne and Shirley. And then I was like, yeah, guys, none of these other ones are going to work. I'm sorry. And yeah, I think Erin Moran.
Yeah, because didn't
Arnold got one, yep. And there was also Pinky Tuscadero. They did a spinoff or tried. Erin Moran, I think, was really likable character actor, sort of, but with good comedic flair. And I always wondered why they didn't put her in stuff like Little Darlings or, the sort of comedic film roles. I think she would have done well, but she just kind of faded away after that.
Yeah, it's weird because she's one of the kids in Watermelon Man.
Oh, is she?
That's right.
Yeah, she's the daughter.
Yeah.
I'm the A-Team all day.
Yeah.
A-Team all day, and then I roll into Three's Company, and then I probably watch the last half hour of Remington Steele, because much like T.J. Hooker and Matt Houston, I just, it's going to be some action. It's going to be like, it's a tall white guy. He's going to punch some guys in the mouth who are doing some evil. Just good, solid TV eating.
Dean Stockwell's in this episode of A-Team, so I mean, that's a good thing there. George Papard, man, I've never.
Let me make an admission right now for the first time, Vincent. This is the first time you hearing it. I have never seen an episode of the A-Team.
You got to see the one with Rick James. That's a minimum. You need to see the Rick James episode.
How have you never seen an episode of the A-Team?
I never turned it on.
On purpose.
Yeah, that's insane.
By design, you've never
You're
seen
not hurting anyone but yourself. You're not hurting anyone but yourself.
It is fun.
I'm fine. I feel absolutely okay.
It's a fun, dumb show, and
it is.
It's fun, especially the first season, to see in real time how they're taken by surprise that Mr. T is the breakout star of the show.
Right.
Like, it was George Papard's show. That was how it was made. And you can see him realize it's not his show anymore. And it gets really uncomfortable in a really fun way to watch. You're like, nope, you got Mr. T.
And then it never really takes itself that seriously.
No.
Once they make that shift.
Yeah, they're like, it's going to be a kid's show, basically. It's
like you said, those first couple of episodes, they almost want to have a Mission Impossible feel.
Dirty Dozen, Mission Impossible.
Right. But like Mr. T's in it. Like, what are you doing? Like, what are we doing right now?
It's not going to work. And the funny thing is, so my wife is from England. I have a lot of friends from England, and I'm always curious about how our shows go to other countries. And like Knight Rider, A-Team, these shows that we aired in primetime for families and adults, they were all marketed as kids shows in the UK. They were all on new episodes after school for children. And I'm like, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were like, we don't know. A-Team is entertaining. There's what was the thing I was just gonna say was on? Oh, there's a Richard Mulligan pilot that they're showing as a comedy special called Reggie. And it's like a Secret Life of Walter Mitty kind of thing. So it's just a regular guy with some far out fantasies. And I'm like, no, that is not going to work. Oh, I remember what I was going to say.
But Richard Mulligan was the funny guy, man.
He was.
Richard Mulligan is a funny man.
But it took till Empty Nest for them to post Soap to find something that worked for him. Like, I don't want him as like the lead and like I'm having fantasies. Like, that's a young man's game, that show. Like some 60-year-old guy. But Remington Steele was interesting because the premise of that, if you remember, was that this woman owned a detective agency and no one took her seriously. So she hired an actor to be this fake character. And so it was always undermining that, like, the male hero thing, which was kind of a weird take for that time.
Right. Although in execution, I think it pretty quickly became
once you have Pierce Brosnan on it, like that's what's happening. You're gonna get it.
A question for you: Remington Steele, Celebrity Deathmatch, Remington Steele, Moonlighting.
Oh, Moonlighting.
Yeah. Come on, that's not even a question.
Yeah. No contest, Moonlighting.
Yeah. Okay.
I thought you were gonna go Scarecrow Mrs. King. Then it's a little more difficult. I'd probably go.
Oh, I forgot about Scarecrow and Mrs. King. I forgot about that. And that ran probably as long as Remington Steele, didn't it?
Yeah, they were like 5 or 6 seasons each. They went a while. Yeah, but Moonlighting.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Moonlighting was lightning in a bottle. I mean, that show was brilliant. It managed to be funny, fourth wall breaking without taking you out of the stakes of the story, which is so hard to do. And still make a good show with 2 complete nightmares as the lead.
Talk about someone realizing the show was slipping away from them.
Yeah. I mean,
jeez.
But I thought Moonlighting, like, kind of like flew too close to the sun too soon.
Real quick.
Like, I mean, and really quickly, it became diminishing returns for me. And maybe that is because of, of shows like Remington Steele and Scarecrow and Mrs. King that kind of like set the template. And I understand that Moonlighting was going against those a little bit, but it started taking itself a little bit too serious for me.
There were too many gimmicks too after a while, like the Atomic Shakespeare episode.
Yeah.
But then they're like, let's do all of that all the time. But when I had Curtis Armstrong on, it was very interesting. because he's such a straight shooter, interesting guy, and he was just like, what a nightmare it was to work on that show. And like the first day he showed up on set, he met Sybil Shepherd, and he was like, oh, I'm so happy to be here. I saw the episode last night, and you were great. And she goes, you better not compliment me again, or we're gonna have a problem. And he was like, thought she was kidding, and he was like, oh, well, you were great. And she bursts into tears, goes, I told you not to do that. Shooting is done for the day.
Wow.
Stuff like that every day. And they hired him and Elise Beasley to like menace Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis as like, we'll replace you with them as the leads if you guys don't get in line. And so it was a really weird position for him to be in, where he's like, some weeks we might be the stars of the show. We'd shoot half an episode like that, and then they'd scrap it because they would come back to the table. Like, just insane. The fact that anything good got made is kind of amazing.
Right.
It does.
Right.
And then Three's Company, another show really long in the tooth by 83. I think 84 is when it spun into Three's a Crowd, which is awful. What a 70s show. Like, you can't get a more 70s show than Three's Company. Maybe Love American
No, you
Style.
can't.
No.
But that horny swingers Santa Monica thing by 83 just seemed real weird.
Everybody just has chlamydia in a really dry cough.
Yeah. Like 83, if someone goes, let's go to the Regal Beagle, you're like, I don't want to go to that place.
I was about to say, I don't know if they really washed the glasses at the Regal Beagle.
The Regal Beagle. And of course, the Three's Company taught us the only way to get cheap rent in the 70s was to pretend to be gay. Just like for some buddies.
Dress up in women's clothing.
Which was the 80s version. It was progressive.
Right.
Yeah. They did so many things with cheap rent.
I will say this for Three's Company, though. Three's Company did resurrect the career of one of my favorite comedic actors, Don Knotts.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
Now, I recognize by 83, and that's the reason why I didn't choose it, because by 83, I kind of like checked out on the show. But I recognize that Don Knotts came onto that show, fit seamlessly within there, toupee and bell bottoms and all, and just had a ball. So I will give it, and also look, rest in peace to both of them. But John Ritter, he indeed was acted above his weight in that show.
That's part of my hot take. I think Three's Company is solid throughout its run.
Even all the replacement Chrissies, when we have our Scooby-Dum version.
As long as John Ritter's there, and as you said, Don Knotts comes in, revitalizes it, I think it is absolutely watchable from the first. I think spinning it off to Three's the Crowd, kind of you lose a lot of that that energy. But yeah, I think Three's and the Ropers, I thought, you kind of take them away from it, and the Ropers doesn't work.
No.
But I think Three's Company is solid from beginning to end.
I guess it had like I don't want to say a low bar, but it's not like it was prestige television that fell like the Jeffersons did. So it kind of they had a easier beam to walk there.
Yeah.
And John Ritter is one of those guys, I'm always fascinated by at this time that you were a movie actor or a TV actor, and if you switched, it was because you were coming up or going down. And Ritter was one of those guys like John Larroquette that they kept pushing, this guy should be a movie star, and it just never worked, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
It never took. It was so weird.
Well, you know why? I think because John Ritter is... John Ritter works on television, but on the big screen, he's just a big, cute guy. Like, because he's not overt, like he's not incredibly handsome. He's not, but he's neither bad looking. He's not the most athletic person, but he's not a big fat man either. He is, and the role of Jack Tripper feels so much like John Ritter,
feels like he's not
even
acting.
if it's not. Yeah. He feels like he's not acting. So you're like, okay, so if we get him into the movies, what are we going to do with him?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Hero at large is what you're going to do with him.
Right.
We're all going to be disappointed with Hero at large. Oh, boy. And I will say, one of my favorite comedies of all time, speaking of Don Knotts, The Love God, which is so funny, such a good movie. It could come out today with the same script and still be amazing. And I don't know why everybody doesn't talk about that movie all the time.
I'm not familiar. I'll put that on my list.
So good.
No, Vincent, don't. The Love God is not. It is not a good movie. It is not a good movie. Vincent, remember when Eddie Murphy did Holy Man? That's Don Knotts in The Love God. Don't do it to yourself.
So it's Nat Heineken who did Car 54 in the Phil Silvers show. And it's essentially,
yes, I know.
Don Knotts has a Bird magazine that the mob convinces him to turn into a Playboy style magazine. But there's some great stuff in that movie. I love it. But fair enough.
I'll check it out.
You're the tiebreaker.
All right.
You're the tiebreaker here.
All right.
We'll have to follow up there. Wednesday night.
The Love God. Oh my God.
Are you a Ghost of Mr. Chicken fan?
It's your turn.
Is that because they're very different?
Well, yes, I am a Ghost of Mr. Chicken. I do also like the Incredible Mr. Limpet. Look. I fell in love with Don Knotts on the Andy Griffith Show, and one of the single greatest pieces of comedy is him for 5 minutes in a convertible with Phil Silvers in "It's a Mad, 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 Mad World."
Phil Silvers kills me. When that little kid, he's like, "Hey, I'll give you $1 if you tell me how to get there." And he goes, $5. $5? Like, he's so mad about it. Have you heard the story about him and Milton Berle on the set of Mad, 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 Mad World?
I probably have, but remind me.
Phil Silvers would bet on anything, and everybody hated Milton Berle.
Yes.
Those are the two pieces of information we all know. And so Phil Silvers goes, hey.
Well, there's one other piece of information we know about Milton Berle, but
that also involves betting. But he was like, Milton Berle would show up late for like getting makeup done and stuff. So one day Phil Silvers goes, "Guys, I bet you I can get Milton to leave the room and call his agent, and I won't say a word to him." And they're like, "You're on." So they didn't have dailies on Mad Mad World because of the Super 70 millimeter. They're getting made up, and Phil Silvers turns to someone next to him, and he's like, "I thought yesterday on the dailies you did," and starts talking about these dailies, and he sees Milton Berle's like gears start turning, and he goes out to the payphone, calls his agent, and he's like, "How come everyone's seeing these fucking dailies except for me?" Phil Silvers is like, "Thank you, I'll take the money, thank you." Like, brilliant. Love Phil Silvers.
Oh yes, I love Phil Silvers. I can't get enough Phil Silvers.
Have you been to the Hollywood Museum in L.A.?
I've not been to L.A. I want to go there.
You gotta go for a variety of reasons. But the Hollywood Museum is in the old Max Factor building, which is a cool building anyway. And it's just this bizarre mishmash of stuff in there. But they have the Mad, 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 Mad World building from the end, with the little stop motion guys with the fire.
Oh, okay.
They have it there. It's the building from Mad Mad World.
Oh,
they have it. It's right next to Pee-wee's bike and the Clampett's car.
It's nice.
A real weird corner.
Nice road trip.
It's worth going. And not Tony Randall. Oh my God, Planet of the Apes. And Fright Night.
Who, Roddy McDowell?
Roddy McDowell's entire bathroom. Literally his bathroom.
Oh, is that the gold bathroom?
Yep. It's literally, they took it apart and put it back together in the middle of this museum. It's just Roddy McDowell's bathroom. All right, Wednesday, what are we doing?
Wednesday, Fall Guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fall Guy, and then the only other thing that I have, once again, you're seeing a pattern here. 83, Facts of Life is getting real. You know, like the wheels are real shaky about to fall, which means I'm obsessed with it.
Loved it. Edna's Edibles is failing. The next season we get The Fire. Clooney comes in. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure this is that period where all the girls are gaining weight.
Yep.
And the studio is yelling at them. And
That's
and
true.
even though you don't something is wonky.
Yes. They're trying to tape down Tooty's boobs.
I love the car wreckness of it.
They're like, we want to make her still feel like a child. She's fighting against it.
Right.
This episode,
but yeah,
Eve Plum plays Blair's sister.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jen Brady showing up as Blair's sister.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, those are my two, and then I love the Fall Guy.
It's fun. It's a fun show.
Yeah.
I hated that movie
from
a couple years ago. I wanted to like it, and it was god awful. The Ryan Gosling movie.
I know they tried to sell that hard. Man. Yeah.
What were you watching, Lynn?
Well, I watched The Fall Guy because I was a fan of Lee Majors because I was a $6 million kid. But The Fall Guy, something about those adventure shows like that and the A-Team and stuff they didn't really do it for me. And I think it's probably because I saw them as like substitute for the superheroes that should be on TV. Sure. We had Wonder Woman, we had the Hulk, but The Fall Guy, I don't know. It was one of those shows that I was happy that it was a success because I wanted Lee Majors to make money. But other than that, I really wasn't into it. But I was like you, Vincent. I love the facts of life. You take the good, you take the bad, you add them up, and there you have the facts of life. I was there from the beginning. So I love that show. So I could tell that it was getting long in the tooth, but it was one of those things. I've been there from the beginning. I'm gonna ride with y'all.
Can't let the girls down.
I'm here.
You gotta
can't let the girls down.
You gotta stick with them.
You can't let them down. Plus, I also recognized that, that was a spinoff of Different Strokes with Charlotte Rae that was superior in my mind to its original show.
Oh, yeah. No contest.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No contest. Better ensemble.
Yeah, no contest.
Better, and always better for sure. Different Strokes. I am just
I was there.
That show went as long as it did it all. What a weird rich guy just gets two black kids. There's your show.
Another endlessly fascinating train wreck.
Yes. From day one. Really from day one.
Day one.
What is
from day one, on screen and behind, and especially behind the screen.
Oh yes.
Right.
Insane.
Yeah. But I also saw in this speaking of spinoffs that poor old Sally Struthers was
good old Gloria.
She had to, you know what? I need to make some more money so I can feed all these kids. So
you want to make more
she
money?
did.
Sure, we
Gloria.
all do.
I wanted Gloria to work, man. And that was another one that
she was glommed onto that thing. It was like, we got a sitcom about a female veterinarian. Can you make it Sally Struthers as her character from All in the Family? I guess. She's never expressed.
And also, she's a witch.
She's also a witch. She never expressed interest in this before, but now that's the show.
Right. Sure, why not?
I want to point out there's a thing called
But she hires a man to pretend to be the veterinarian.
He's the real veterinarian. Right. His name's Dr. Gloria. Right. But he's just some actor. There's a thing on PBS called The Horror of It All. And as a kid, we would get weirdly, PBS was a good go-to for like old school horror stuff. And they would have these clip shows. And this is one of them. It was an hour-long clip show of like Nosferatu, and they'd kind of frame it like a documentary. But, when you couldn't rent the Bat Whispers on VHS, like you would see these sort of clips from these old Karloff movies. And I was a sucker for those. I would watch those anytime. 100%. 2 days more this week. We got Thursday. What are we doing?
I'm watching Fame. I'm definitely, especially during this period. This is the Nia Peoples era. I'm fairly certain Janet Jackson, if she's not on Fame yet, she's about to be.
This is after her Different Strokes run.
Right, absolutely. She went right from Different Strokes to Fame. Say it along with me, folks. Give Me a Break is a train wreck.
100%, but really entertaining.
At this point, I think both of the Lawrence kids are on there. So it's like Nell Carter is just in this weird, very specific hell where she just has to take care of little white children for all of eternity.
And Dolph Sweets died by this point.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching the last half hour of Simon and Simon because, Ernest Borgnine might be guest starring.
What if there's two Magnums and one of them's a little bit dirty?
Right. Here's the thing. I just looked at the TV Guide when I did this. I don't even remember what the hook was with Simon and Simon.
It was two brothers who were PIs. It's literally like Magnum PI and his brother.
Yeah.
It's like
but I know I watched it.
Yeah, a lot of people did. I don't know why.
I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
It was fine. Simon and Simon. Guys, it's the same name. So they got Magnum.
So you tuned in for $3 Magnum in Matt Houston, but you ain't have no time for Hawaiian Magnum, the original Magnum on
You're
Thursday.
going to Little Caesars because they got two pizzas, even though they're mediocre.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, there's two of them. It's the same price.
Oh my God!
Bang for your buck,
Exactly.
Lynn.
That's just being a good steward of your dollar. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Whatever y'all say. I watched Fame intermittently, so I was there for a little bit with Vincent. But I'm probably in the syndicated world because I'm watching Too Close for Comfort because I love Ted Knight.
Sure.
So I was watching that, and then I probably am turning to NBC to watch Give Me a Break and whatever is coming on afterwards. But that's just to get me to Hill Street Blues because I was with Hill Street Blues from the beginning, and I immediately locked on. It's like this is one of the greatest shows that I have ever seen. It was gritty, it was original, it was daring, it was sweaty, it was black people on TV that were cops and robbers. It was just different TV for me, and I was there from the beginning.
It felt New York in a time when all shows felt LA. Like it had that thing we were missing. I noticed neither of you picked The Powers of Matthew Starr.
Whoa! I thought that was Friday.
Oh, that is Friday. You're right. Oh, sorry. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong thing.
We're going to get to The Power of Matthew.
Sorry
I'm about to say.
The Powers of Matthew Starr. Speaking of Nia Peoples, I think we can all agree that there was few, if any, TV shows better named than Nia Peoples' Party Machine. Like, you put that in a TV guide, I'm going to watch it. I don't want to know what Nia Peoples' Party Machine is. It could be anything, but I want to be a part of it. Okay,
you're right.
So let's move on to Friday then. As I've jumped us to The Powers of Matthew Starr.
Yeah, this is really hard for me. This is really hard because I know for a fact I watched every episode of The Powers of Matthew Starr. However, it is a rerun of The Dukes of Hazzard that I believe this is the season. It is a rerun of the season with the replacement
Dukes. Fake Dukes.
Yes.
Who did the voices in the cartoon, because that was what happened too. Yep, we got the fake Dukes.
Which, even as a kid, I said, this is a completely bizarre thing that I need to watch this or else people are going to never believe it happened.
They still wouldn't. You're like, guys, no, there was a season where they had fake Dukes. I'm telling you.
So it was a real toss-up. And then, of course, Knight Rider at 9.
Powers Matthew Starr was... this was when Brendan Tartikoff was clearly a comic reader as a kid. So we got Misfits of Science, which was the closest thing to the X-Men we had on TV for decades, and it is actually kind of decent. And then the Powers of Matthew Star, which is just a mess. Like someone is trying to make a comic book show after someone just explained a comic book to them.
Right.
Yes.
Lou Gossett Jr. is weirdly, totally not used in the show, but is in every episode. Like,
it is totally all over the place. Like you look at the opening, like because it had the 2 sets of credits.
Yes.
And it's like the first set is like this sort of really po-faced. We are on the run. We're refugees, and there are assassins. And then it's like this slapstick.
Yeah.
He's moving stuff around.
Greatest American
he's on
hero
the
all of a
football
sudden.
team. Right. And then the second set of credits is the Greatest American Hero. And it's all jokey. But I could not get enough of this. I could not get enough of the Powers of Matthew Star.
You rewatched it?
I think it was a better show in my head than the show that was on the actual screen.
You were punching it up as you watched it?
At 100%. 100%.
Well, I think Manimal was better, but that's me. Sorry, Leonard.
Thank you.
I interrupted you.
The problem with Manimal is he only turned into 3 different animals.
You shot those once and you got to reuse the footage. That would get more and more degraded every time they would show it in the show.
Right.
Yes. If it had lasted, it would have been added an animal every season. But
right.
It didn't last. I'm sorry. Being a little bit older than you, Vincent, the faux Dukes was a bridge too far for me.
You had a moral stance.
So, you know what? I did, because I was old enough to have known that it was a contract stance as to why they changed. They didn't use the John Schneider and Tom Wopat. So I was like, well, in my mind, they totally deserve whatever money they had coming to them. I'm not going to watch it with these fake, these scab Dukes. Like, get the hell out of here. Like, no, I'm going to sit and watch Benson. I like Benson. So I was, hey, I like it. Benson was one of those shows that, again, a spinoff, unfortunately, that is not as good as the show that it spun off of.
Yeah.
But had a great actor in it, and Robert Guillaume. So and good actors all around him.
Yes, good cast.
It was a fun show. It was a decent show. And 2 future Star Trek people in that show as well.
Oh yeah, it's Neelix, right? It's Renee Auberjonois, and then is it Neelix?
It's Neelix and then Odo. And so I would watch that. The Powers of Matthew Star, I remember turning it on once and saying, oh, this looks stupid. And I turned it off. Like, I never returned to it. I think I maybe returned to it like one day at a comic convention, like, how the guys are advertising all the bootlegs that they have. So they had the Powers of Matthew Star, and everybody's like, oh man, the Power of Matthew Star. And I'm
Vincent, like,
I stood there for a couple of minutes. Exactly. That's what they're all saying, right? So I'm standing next to him. I'm like, yeah, this is still stupid. Can I get that copy of the Mighty Heroes? Thank you. And I like my stupid animated.
What was the baby called in the Mighty Heroes? That
was Diaper Man.
Yes, man. Yeah, you didn't go for the Automan bootlegs at the same time. We want to make Tron and Knight Rider, but not either, and not good.
That's right.
Benson, I loved, and I love the fact that Benson didn't even try to be like Soap. Tonally, humor, he's, I guess, the same character, sort of, but they went. I think if they tried to do Soap World, it would have been a disaster. Like, I liked that they really kind of played it straight.
They were smart.
Yeah.
And although there's a 2-part Halloween episode of that show where they're on a boat and someone's murdering people, and the whole time you're like, this is going to be a dream or something, and it's not. Benson catches the guy's murdered, but like straight up 8 people get murdered in this thing. There's people getting murdered, and I'm like, how is this okay? This is not like a fantasy sequence. There's just an episode of Benson where a bunch of people get slaughtered.
Where a bunch of people get murdered.
Totally makes perfect sense. You could pitch anything in the 80s.
Well, you know what? Hey, look, if Benson went from being the butler, the cook, to the lieutenant governor. So
and maybe governor.
We'll never know.
And probably governor.
We'll never know.
Yeah, so why couldn't he be Columbo too?
Do we think there's Benson fan fiction online about his gubernatorial days?
Of course
there is. God, yes.
Governor Benson.
God, yes.
I hope there is. That's my belief in the world. Then I will mention there's a really depressing sounding special on at 11 o'clock, and it has William Shatner, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., and Dick Van Patten, hosted by Art Linkletter and Carol Lawrence, and it's called Children Between Life and Death. A dramatic television report of a great human tragedy. And it says, they hoped it wouldn't happen again, but it has. I'm like, what is this? With Dick Van Patten and Art Linkletter and William Shatner. This is insane. Like, what is this? I need to hunt this down because I don't believe this was a real thing. It's in the genre they call it a report, so it's a fundraiser for World Vision. Children in East Africa, but the ad does not make that clear.
Sounds completely legit.
Children Between Life and Death with Art Linkletter and Dick Van Patten. That's where we're at.
One of them's a witch.
Yes, and all the children are witches.
And one of them's a witch.
Everything could be improved if one character is a witch. Thank you guys so much for doing this. I really appreciate it. This is a lot of fun. It was as fun as I had hoped it would be. Any movies you got coming up that you want to preview?
We're reviewing every black film ever made. So it's a black movie. We're reviewing it. We're about to kick off. 2026 is about to start with us in January. We're going to have a lot of fun. Tune in, check us out on YouTube. We talk about TV. We're just going to have fun. We're just going to have a ball.
A lot of fun comic book tangents, which I always love.
Yes.
Yes. Oh yes. There are some fun comic book tangents. I got a couple lined up for when we come back on air. So we'll have a good time. This was so much fun,
Ken.
Thank
you so much. Yes,
thank you so much.
Thank you guys. I really had a good time.
Please feel free to shoot us another email. We will come back on your show. We will
pick another issue.
We'll do it again. Absolutely. I know the listeners will demand it. There you go. That's Len and Vincent. Every black film ever made. They've been reviewing it. They've been doing it for years. They have like 600 episodes of the show, I think. There's a lot. And every movie you can think of has been up there. But some great movies I forgot about, too, that go back and watch. Anyway, I put a link in the show description here to their show, so you should go listen to that, watch that. They have a great YouTube channel. And I have a YouTube channel, too. Put stuff up there every now and then. Sometimes I go on little bursts of videos. If there's stuff you'd like to see me do as a video that is family friendly, well, not even family friendly, it doesn't involve my nudity, feel free to email me at tvguidancecounselor@gmail.com, ken@kenread.com, or on the Patreon, and we'll make it happen. But in the meantime, I'll be here next week for a brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor, so I hope you will too for that brand new edition of TV Guidance Counselor.
And also, she's a witch.